eggs would be fine and dandy. They would be fine and dandy if what happened by the medical industry didn't happen. Classified medical industry, let's start with that for a little bit. Back over 100 years ago, they were playing with our food. They were trying to feed viruses and pathogens and keep them alive in the labs. And what they found, classified medical research and science, was that if they cut open the top of the egg and they place pathogens, bacteria, viruses inside the egg, they would duplicate. They would mass produce inside the egg. Now, when they took those viruses and those pathogens and that bacteria and they put it beside some bacon, pork, it didn't mass produce like that. So over 100 years ago, they took bacteria and viruses in the lab and they put it beside pork. They put it beside meat, beef. They put it beside different vegetables. And they noticed that none of the pathogens would thrive. They wouldn't explode. They wouldn't duplicate, multiply. But what they did notice is when they took the egg and just the outside of the egg and they put pathogens on the outside of the eggshell, they noticed the pathogens would stay alive. Interesting. And then when they cut the egg open and they cut the top of the egg open and they had it in their little dish thing, they noticed when they cut the tops of the eggs and they put pathogens within it, bacteria they already identified, they noticed that an explosion occurred. Pathogens, viruses, bacteria, mold, yeast, fungus grew rapidly and exploded inside those eggs. And they knew they can use the eggs as a tool. Now, this is over 100 years ago. Keep that in mind. But classified medical research and science learned that they can manipulate bugs. Sound familiar? Because bugs have been raised in labs for well over 100 years. And that very bug on your lip, when you get the simplex 1, was raised in a lab originally, and it was fed eggs. So that cold sore that you developed a long time ago in your life, or just developed yesterday because you picked up the cold sore, the fever blister from somebody else, the simplex 1, that bug is an old bug. Been around a long time. Was raised in labs off of eggs. Every single bug was raised on eggs at one point. Early varieties of Epstein-Barr virus were raised on eggs in labs. Epstein-Barr, anybody? Fibromyalgia, thyroiditis, Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, RA, psoriatic arthritis, Lyme disease. Yeah, Lyme disease. Long C. How come viruses and bacteria and pathogens thrive on egg? How is it possible? Because it's an underdeveloped protein. The egg has an underdeveloped protein. It's easy to conquer, easy to feed off of. Pathogens and viruses devoured the underdeveloped protein inside of raw eggs. The baby chick never had a chance. Never had a chance. But the underdeveloped proteins that baby chick had was a fuel source for viruses to easily conquer and invade. It was a quick fuel source, whether anybody likes it or not. The industry used eggs to create more viruses and pathogens. Those were released in our environment through certain means and exposures, and those viruses have thrived, and that's why nursing homes have 30-year-olds in them. Nursing homes are loaded with 30-year-olds, who can't use their arms and legs anymore, who are literally trapped in bed, neurologically sick, being spoon-fed, IVs, food being drawn up through their stomach through a J-tube because of pathogens from classified medical research and science going all the way back over 100 years ago. When we eat the egg, it goes into our liver, it goes up the hepatic portal vein, it goes into our bloodstream. And if you're dealing with infections all through your body, like trigeminal neuralgia because you got simplex 1 or the shingles, you're dealing with the shingles, and the shingles is giving you all this jaw pain, all this ear pain and facial pain, and your nerves are inflamed, your vagus nerves are inflamed all through your body, and you're struggling, and you're panicking, and you got problems with your nervous system, eggs will help and feed the problem. They won't help fix the problem. They help worsen the problem. Now, I don't tell people never eat an egg if you don't want an egg. I tell them if you're sick and you're struggling, it would be a good idea if you refrain from eggs and keep them back and not have them in your life because they're trouble.